This is long overdue. We have to go through Kim's talk here from mastering your fuel and blood sugar from our Fall in Love with Fitness Summit. I thought I shared more information on her talk inside the den here, and I was just recapping and taking a look back, and no, I was not. But we'll all good. We'll jump right in. Do a quick little.
There's a little handout here, right? So I'll do a quick little intro, right? So Kim here is a holistic nutrition and wellness coach who helps people reclaim their energy, balance, and their hormones, and rediscover a sense of vitality no matter their age or stage of life. Her approach combines practical nutrition, mindset coaching, and lifestyle strategies that empower clients to create sustainable change. As a host of the What's My Age Again podcast, Kim opens up honest conversations about aging, self-care, and thriving with confidence. So here is Kim on how to reclaim energy when you're running on empty, and she also offers powerful steps to help you feel your best inside and out. Welcome,
Thank
Kim.
So Kim, yeah, she has her podcast. She has great information. Been doing her nutritionist career for a while, and she has amazing information, wealth of knowledge. Definitely want to make sure you guys hit up Kim and her podcast. All right, so let's go through here. Yeah, so the four pillars of energy, right? So with her, what we talked about, right? So the transcript here from the video was featuring a holistic nutrition and wellness coach, Kim. Reclaiming vitality is not a matter of willpower or hustle, but rather a biological process of managing the body's energy currency through four specific pillars. The first one is nutrition, stabilizing blood sugar. The primary way nutrition reclaims vitality is by ending the blood sugar roller coaster. When we rely on quick carbohydrates or skip meals, blood sugar spikes and then crashes, causing the body to panic and release stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline to stabilize glucose levels. The, this constant emergency response drains energy, affects moods, and disrupts your hormones, right? So she offers some tips here by balancing your plate. To create sustained energy, meals must combine protein, fat, fiber, and carbohydrates. While carbohydrates act like kindling for a quick burn. Fats act as slow burning logs on a campfire, keeping energy stable and satiating your keeping you satiated. Pronounce the words here, Brian. Keep you satiated for a longer time. And also strategic timing. Breakfast determines your energy trajectory for the day. A savory breakfast, eggs, avocado, greens, prevents the initial spike. Additionally, you should eat at regular intervals to prevent the body from entering emergency mode due to hunger. Right? Coffee sequencing. Drinking coffee on an empty stomach spikes cortisol. Reclaiming vitality involves drinking coffee after a balanced meal, which often reduces the feeling of needing caffeine at all. Now, that's one I definitely have to take advice on. Micronutrients. Eating a variety of colors, eating the rainbow, ensures the body receives the vitamins and minerals required for immune and hormonal health, preventing the body from shifting into conservation mode. And of course, number two, the second pillar here, sleep, cellular repair and detoxification. Sleep is described as the time when the body repairs, heals, and regulates hormones. Without deep sleep, mitochondrial function, the energy powerhouses of the cells, is impaired, directly leading to fatigue. Prioritize the pre midnight hours. Sleep cycles before 12 a.m. provide the most restorative rest. Manage light exposure. Blue light from phones disrupts melatonin, the hormone responsible for sleep. A vital habit is to tuck in your phone an hour before you tuck in yourself. So as you tuck in your kids, tuck in that phone. Create a safety routine. Establish a consistent bedtime ritual, like a bath or reading, signals to the body that it's safe to wind down, similar to the routines used for children. Pillar number three is movement, generating energy. Contrary to the belief that exercise drains a tired body, movement creates energy. It improves how the body utilizes glucose, oxygenates tissues. Maybe have a little Hercules here having his dream and barking. Get him, Herky. Get him. Oxygenates tissues and boosts mitochondrial function. So generating energy, being a personal trainer, fitness is movement, movement is life. My apology here, I lost my train of there we go. So consistency, reclaiming vitality starts with carving out consistent time for a movement, even if it's just 10 to 20 minutes to start, right? So like just having the 20-minute block with our D1 den specialist, making sure that we are, utilizing the time, of course, to create movement, to reestablish our energy system, to making sure that we are eating the rainbow, that we are handling our stress and also are handling our cortisol levels through eating at proper times and eating healthy, and of course, bypassing not bypassing, but trying to critique your caffeine intake. So your nervous system regulation. This is pillar number four that Kim talked about with our Fall in Love with Fitness. The nervous system regulation is the foundation. Kim identifies the nervous system as the base of the pyramid for health. Many people live in a chronic state of fight or flight, right? Even Rachel touched base on this with her talk, right? So the chronic state of fight or flight, sympathetic state, which constantly pumps cortisol. Cortisol is not, the enemy, it seems like here, right? Pumps cortisol and drains energy reserves. Healing and energy reclamation occur in the parasympathetic state, rest and digest, right? So a signal safety to the body. You can reclaim vitality by using simple physical tools to switch off the stress response. These include box breathing, in for four, inhale for a count of four, hold for a count of four, out for a count of four, right? So even just with, just in addition to Kim's knowledge here in our Day One Den specialist coach here, we have those diaphragmatic breathing in our cool down and recovery and restoration phases throughout the 20-minute block, because we are, throughout the day, we are breathing in a shallow state and we're not deep breathing with the belly breathing, only breathing with our chest. All right, so micro habits. Integrating these pauses into the day, such as breathing deeply between meetings, prevents energy depletion before it happens. So Kim identifies four pillars: nutrition, sleep, movement, and nervous system regulation. To visualize this, Kim compares energy to financial currency. Just as you cannot spend from an empty wallet, you cannot give energy to your business or family from an empty well. Nutrition, sleep, movement, and nervous system regulation are the deposits that keep your account full, ensuring you are not operating in an energetic deficit. So, just like how we have um, our calorie deficit, our calorie intake, making sure that we either have a surplus or a deficit in our calorie intake to either lose weight or to gain muscle or to improve your basal metabolic rate. We have to have that currency. It's just as an analogy. So running on empty, four pillars. Just to recap it on the four pillars here on a visual component, a visual input here. Pillar number one is nutrition. Full Fuel for stability. Balancing. Oh, Zeus, balancing your blood sugar to avoid the energy roller coaster. Eating a balanced meal, like we said, prevents the spikes and crashes that drain your energy. Right? Build your plate with protein, fat, and fiber. PFF. Right? This combination ensures sustained, stable energy instead of a quick burnout. Right? So making sure that we plan ahead, just like how we plan for a trip, that we have our more healthier nutrition options in that fridge, in our cabinets, that we are not using quick chocolate bars for, not, I'm not saying disregard chocolate bars, but I'm just saying like making sure that we have the proper tools, the walnuts, the bananas, the apple, the oranges, fruit, colorful rainbows of the rainbow, the rainbow colors of your vegetables to eat, and making sure that when we do have our coffee intake, that it's not loaded with sugar and it's not loaded with the flavored creams, right? So having coffee after your breakfast, not before. This prevents cortisol. Having coffee after a full nutritious meal in the morning will prevent a cortisol spike, and that's what we don't want. We don't want that spike. Pillar number two, we have sleep, the body's repair crew. Right, prioritizing sleep to allow for cellular repair. As we work out consistently, as we use our brain capacity to learn and adapt into either our schooling, into our work, and to give input to our relationships that we have with our families and friends and colleagues. We want to make sure that once we do, rest at night, that we are preparing the body to tackle the daily life's responsibilities, but also to handle stress in a proper and more healthier way. Right? So sleep clears metabolic waste and regulates hormones essential for daytime energy. Right? So tuck in your phone before you go to bed. Okay, 1 hour before you go to bed, and create a consistent bedtime routine, making sure that you have that consistency. Your body loves to be able to understand when you are going to work out, and having the same uh, schedule for food intake, calorie intake, for fuel input. And number three is the pillar, the move, or sorry, the number three pillar is movement. You create energy to get energy. And it was funny, way a client of mine, a friend of mine, she sent me a meme of Baby Yoda, and the caption was, um, oh, what was the caption again? It was like something along the like, yeah, so you have to move, or you have to, like, just what it's saying here: to create energy, you get energy; to work out, to get energy. No, for you to work out, you need to work out more, or something along those lines. But Baby Yoda was like, this sounds like a pyramid scheme, and his face is all like in a question state. Basically, was what I'm trying to say is, if we are laying on the couch all day and we're being a couch potato, or if we are slouched at our desk and not having that body language of being attuned to our surroundings, and also being present, and having that body in that ready state of just being aware, and being in activity, as in going for our walks during lunch, or going for a walk at the evening with your doggies, or going with your family on a hike on the weekends, is the more energy you put into it, the more currency you put in the movement pillar, the more you'll get back. Start with consistency, even if it's only 10 to 20 minutes per day. You never regret a workout because it boosts your energy levels right after. That's why I love working out with high intensity. It could be short burst, high intensity, interval training on a timer. I love it, and that's my jam when it comes to workout modalities. Right. So you find what works for you, that what you want to do, that what you want to achieve in your goal set. If you want to go for that marathon, if you want to improve your running, if you want to be stronger on the courts through basketball, pickleball, racket sports, tennis, if you want to, improve your cardiovascular system with swimming, and making sure that your shoulders are healthy, that you have the posture, that you have a solid core by doing solid planks, side planks, right? And pillar number four with Kim is the nervous system, the foundation of health. Shift from a fight or flight to rest and digest. Chronic stress keeps you in an energy draining state. Chronic stress keeps you in an energy draining state by constantly releasing cortisol, right? So like when we leave stress, and if we don't take care of ourselves in these pillars, it will reflect upon our performance. It will reflect upon our performance in our day-to-day lives, and it will limit us in if we don't take care of it. Right? Use simple daily practices to signal safety to your body. Try box breathing, the 4 count. Putting your feet up on the wall to reset that back, to improve your posture, to make sure that you are breathing deeply. Do short meditations. I know, running. Running is meditative. Painting, perhaps. Dancing, salsa dancing, right? So having these outputs to make sure that we self-regulate our body, and to make sure that we are optimally performing in our day to day. Right? A foundational guide to restoring your vitality inside and out. On a scale of 1 to 10, how is your energy level right now? Well, right now it's 10:38 came in time for me, so I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. I'll say 7, maybe 8. Are you reaching for your third cup of coffee? I will. I've been up since 5 a.m., just to let you guys know. So yeah, about 5.5 hours already. Do you experience energy dips, especially around 11:30 or 3 p.m.? That afternoon crash. Do you feel like you're just powering through, living in a state of hustle and exhaustion? Low energy is incredibly common, but common does not mean normal. So we have to realize that being in that constant state of stress, or that rush, or that not the rush, but always being in that feeling of got to get this done, or got to keep going, got to get to the next task at hand on my next to-do list, being in that constant um, state of hustle, it can be unhealthy. So energy isn't about willpower, like we previously said. There's a slide deck from Kim's talk. It's your body's currency. If you're experiencing low energy, it's not because you're lazy or unmotivated. Pushing through fatigue isn't the solution. In fact, it often leads to burnout. When we're constantly exhausted and we are not eating healthy and we are not working out. I was talking with a gymnast coach invited me out to a park yesterday to do some workouts, and I'm definitely going to invite him for our next Fall in Love with Fitness Summit series, because he has a powerful story to share. But what we're talking about, pushing through fatigue isn't the solution. In fact, it often leads to burnout, right? So making sure that we were talking about working out and how beneficial it is for the state of uh, resiliency, in the state of not wanting to give up despite certain setbacks, and wanting to keep doing what we can to work out, doing what we can to continue improving upon our strength mentally and physically. Right? Think of energy as your body's most valuable asset. We can't spend from an empty bank account. Our business, relationships, and households are only as healthy as we are. So if we are in that constant state of fight or flight, and we are stressed, chronic stress, and being in that constant, that high stress state, we're not going to be there for our families or for our business, right? So we are depleting our reserves by not addressing, or by not doing the 4 pillars which he was suggesting. So we want to have a abundant currency where our bodies and our environment can thrive as a result of our self-regulating habits. Right. So we're talking about the pyramid at the beginning here. So the 4 foundations of sustainable energy. Lasting energy isn't built on quick fixes. It's built on 4 interconnected pillars that form a stable foundation for your health. Everything starts here. This is the true foundation of our health and and energy, the nervous system regulation, our nutrition, our sleep, and our movement. Foundation one, regulating your nervous system. All right, so that sympathetic fight or flight, so that cortisol spikes, anxiety, and that go, go, go mentality or that go, go, go physicality of everything. As you can see on the lines here on this graph, right? We don't want to live in that state, right? We want to be in that parasympathetic state, our rest and digest, the healing, the safety, telling your body it's okay. We are in a safe zone or a safe environment, and we are regulating, and we are sleeping, and we are eating healthy, and we are showing up to our families and our friends and our businesses in an optimal state. All right, just a quick touch base on cortisol again. So, the cortisol connection. Chronic stress triggers a prolonged release of cortisol. So many of us live in this state of long periods, which over time leads to adrenal fatigue and chronic low energy. Elevated cortisol disrupts sleeps, hormones, and blood sugar, destabilizing the pyramid. Destabilizing the pyramid. All right, we talked about box breathing, humming or singing, cold exposure, cold plunges, body work, acupuncture, massage, qigong, mindfulness, short meditation, restorative posture, putting your feet up against the wall to reset that low back, to give those hamstrings a stretch. A mentor of mine would literally schedule remember to breathe in her calendar. If that's what it takes to start, do it. Getting off the blood sugar roller coaster, sugar rush, Tim Hortons bagel, right? The 3 p.m. crash. We don't want to have these roller coasters in our lives. Of course, we talk about the how to build a plate for sustained energy and more habits to master your fuel, and the foundation of your sleep and your action plan to restore your sleep, and how movement creates energy. And of course, just to recap on that pyramid, right? So, what if you're doing all these things and still feel depleted? If you've constantly implemented these foundational habits and still struggle with low energy, it's time to look deeper. Underlying issues can sometimes prevent even the best lifestyle habits from working. This is when it's important to speak with a practitioner. So Kim suggests thyroid imbalances, low iron levels, vitamin deficiencies, B12 and vitamin D. The foundations are always the starting point. They provide the stable ground from which to investigate further. Right? Of course, doing what you can on your own to learn and to adapt to your specific situation. But Kim suggests that if there is still issues, you definitely want to seek professional nutritionist. Thyroid imbalances, definitely want to check your blood sugar, and of course, a movement and performance coach like Ryan here, and joining us in the Day One Den on the school platform to help out with that community, and also to help out with your questions and answers, and of course, um, referring out to such nutritionists such as Kim. And that's Kim's little slide deck there, reclaiming video. I think we had that video a little bit there. But yeah, no, we have, so mastering your fuel and blood sugar. All right, so this replay is in our Day One Den on the school platform here. And I just want to touch base with her recap. And the golden rule: always have coffee after food, and stop skipping meals. And build your plate. The essential three-part formula: protein, healthy fat, and fiber. So that is Kim's information. Cool, cool. Yeah, just do a quick little video for you guys on that one. So again, so the Day One Den, we got the community platform here. We are live with a random hangout. I have to update the classroom for the 7-day jumpstart. So the 7-day jumpstart mini course here. Welcome to the Den. So this is a webinar hosted by Ashley talking about our 7 day jumpstart, fitness jumpstart that we have in the day one den. We have day one, the foundation, movements. We have fueling the fighter. The fighter, in this sense, is the fighter of business, the fighter of your family, the person who is going to be taking care of yourself, your community, to being that leader, to being that beacon of light for others. So in this sense, the fighter, you can be an MMA fighter, boxing fighter, or just a fighter of life who wants to make sure that you are living this life in holistic values of authenticity, of strength, of resiliency, and all looking out for the person beside you and behind you. All right, day three, the discipline, the mindset, the movement prep, the workout, active recovery, you focusing on breath, the mobility flow, cat and cow, child pose. Day five, high intensity, movement prep, the firestorm circuit, and your task. And of course, we have the community challenge. This is day six, the mindset, the workout, the challenge. And day seven, your first milestone, right? Phase one, the reflection. Phase two, the final task. And phase three, now what? And of course, too, I've also added, so that was the classroom, the 7 day jumpstart. That is uh, one course to get everyone on board with the habit of working out, even though it could be short little bouts of fitness and exercise or movement, but it's getting you into that new persona of that you are a person of movement, you are a person of fitness, that you will eat and eat healthier and to substitute out unhealthy foods for more colorful options like Kim just highly recommended for us, for the general population, to eat and to consume. You'll also have access to the 7 day sync course curriculum here. So the 7 day sync, each each day here is where we have videos here. So grounding your feet from your feet, knee, hip, core, back, your neck, and of course, mindset as well too. This is the 7 day guide, right? So we have the foundation, these are foot and ankle. We have your engine, your pelvic alignment and glute activation, your pillar, your 360-degree breath and core stability, your horizon, your posture, your vision, and your thoracic flow, your T-spine back. Connection, shoulder stability, and your kinetic reach. Integration, your full system connectivity and coordination. And of course, mastery, CNS, central nervous system, recovery and sustained performance, your 7 day guide. Just goes a little deeper into it. Autopilot, disconnected from the foundation. You want to feel the floor, being grounded. You want to have that stable base. You understand what a kinetic chain is and how it is vital for daily movement and also for sport output. And your radical awareness, your sensing and intentional movement. All right, so that's a 7 day sync. Let's see what the PDF is here. Slide deck. Oh no, just a little attend live, execute AI block. Okay, so that is the 7 day sync. And let's take a look here. Stop sharing that one. There I am. There I am. And yeah, so the 7 day sync and also the 7 day jumpstart. And of course, we'll have the weekly check-ins for the 7 day jumpstart, and of course, the higher tier on the premium tier is twice a week. That's when we dive into the 21-minute block to making sure that you guys' exercises are on the right track and making sure that you guys are submitting your video analysis for me to cover to go over. So that's your overhead squat, your planks, your push-ups, your wall push-ups, any questions you have in regards to your program design in the sense um, make sure that you're performing exercise correctly. All right. So that is that. And don't forget, you guys do have for the 7 day jumpstart. You guys have the. I'll make like I said. I'll make the day one den specialist app public. What does public mean? It means that you guys have it's quite, of course, the 7 day jumpstart or the 7 day sync is meant to use with the day one den specialist coach for the 21-minute block. And you have 7 tries at bat, or you have the 7 days to try in conjunction with the Jumpstart program and also the day one den specialist coach to use and to get used to the flow, or to get used to our coaching and jumping in on the live group coaching calls with us here in the day one den. And of course, once you guys get in that habit and once you guys start understanding how to use the day one dance specialist coach in conjunction with me coaching you guys, then of course you'll have the premium option of jumping into the second tier. Then you'll have the unlimited access to the day one den coach. And of course, with every 90 days in the premium tier, we will do a video analysis of your overhead squat, of your posture, of shoulder internal, external rotations for your shoulder, and mark that down. Get the corrective exercises for you so you can punch in the specialist coach, the day one dance specialist coach, to make sure that you guys are on track with that. And of course, questions and answers sent to me inside uh, uh, the day one den school community. And yeah, so let's get you guys rocking and rolling and keep going on this fitness and health journey. That was Kim's recap on her talk. All right. So be safe, be cool, and I'll see you in the open gym. All right. Stop recording.